Welcome back, everybody. We're about to jump into our first adventure of the evening, which I have entitled A Wizard's Hoard. But before we do so, we're just going to take a brief moment and run down the line and meet all of our great adventurers that we have tonight. We got a couple of brand new players, which I'm pretty excited about. But let's start out with our returning veteran here. Scotty, we have you coming back, and today you are returning on Akta Fireblood, if I'm not mistaken, yes?
Yes, I am.
Akta, could you, oh wait, it seems like there's something wrong with the stream, maybe? Jeremy, is everything good? Okay, I think everything's okay. I will be told if it isn't. So, my apologies, Akta. Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us, what you bring to the table. It's been a while since we've seen you out in the adventuring field, so to speak.
Yes, I am Akta. I am a Hexblade Warlock. I am quite taken with my patron, but I am also a open-minded, free character. I do what I want when I want.
Fair enough. That sort of free spirit nature, I think, makes you a perfect fit for Bartholomew's adventurers. You can certainly just come in when you feel like it, take a quest here and there, get by on the day-to-day. Now, you said you were pretty taken with your patron. Who is your patron?
I am not at liberty to discuss his name, unfortunately.
Is there anything you can tell me about them?
They are very powerful.
Yes, I would imagine such to have, for your power, I imagine, represents but a small fragment of theirs, and Akta has proven herself very powerful over the course of the time that I've seen her in this world.
Yes.
Well, Akta, it is great to have you back once more, and I look forward to seeing what you get up to today. Next, we have a brand new character. We have Duratar Helvifar. Did I say all of that correctly?
Well, yes, you have.
Excellent. Well, Duratar, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. Of course, you don't know. I'm a male Drow, rogue.
Okay. Oh, Drow rogue.
Yes.
Now, as a Drow, would you say that you kind of differ from the typical that is your people, or would you say that you more kind of embody the atypical Drow? Would you say that you're a good person, or would you say you tend towards the more evil side of things?
Well, I'm more of a good type of Drow than anything else.
And in a rogue, you have some skills that I imagine, and things like sneaking, lock pickery. Would you say that you're more of the kind of like swashbuckling type of daring rogue, or more of the kind of skulking thief type?
I really don't know.
Perhaps over the course of these adventures, we'll learn that about Duratar Helvifar. Have you spent much time adventuring? Do you have kind of a storied career? Or is this sort of Duratar's first real action? Is this opportunity he has here with Bartholomew's shop?
Yeah, this is more of a first type of action. I've done my share of going around.
Okay, cool. Well, Duratar, it's great to have you tonight, and I look forward to seeing what you bring to the table. Welcome.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Oldman McWizardface, an excellent name. Welcome, Oldman McWizardface.
Hello, it is actually Oldman.
Oldman, I'm sorry, I apologize for that mispronunciation. I was so confident, too, I didn't even ask if I had said it right. Oldman.
My father originally named me Oldman because when I was a baby, I looked like an old man. And, well, he grew attached to it.
How do you feel about that?
I had a very strange childhood, but I grew into the name.
How old are you right now, Oldman?
I am 424
Oh,
years
jeez. What race are you? Are you an elf or?
I am a gnome.
Oh, of course, of course. Gnomes are notoriously long-lived. At this age, what was it that made you want to kind of form up with Bartholomew's adventuring troupe? What was it that brought you out at this late point in your life?
I worked as a court researcher, a monstrologist to be specific, for my old master, Noble McNobleface. Unfortunately, he passed away and his son took over. I had to, he demanded more information, but books can only teach you so much. So I had to leave for the fields.
Oldman McWizardface, and you worked for Noble McNobleface. It seems there's a very particular sort of naming convention in your hometown, city, village.
Yes, I even have my research assistant here, Mousy McSqueakerface.
Is that your familiar?
Yes, he's so cute. Look at him.
He does appear to be adorable. I look forward to getting to know you, Oldman McWizardface, as well as Mousy McSqueakerface. Welcome tonight. And last but not least, I believe we have Lillili, I think it was the name, of the Trash Kingdom. But unfortunately, she is a little bit behind and will be joining us a bit later on in the adventure. So as we begin, it will just be the three of you, but we can expect a fourth to be joining you. So where our adventure begins, the three of you find yourselves in Bartholomew's shop, where a lot of your adventures begin. And Bartholomew has called you specifically because your new adventures, you are relatively unknown in the world at this point, with the exception, of course, of you, Akta. He speaks up to all of you. Greetings, adventurers. I had heard we had some new recruits, and I wanted to give you your first assignment personally. It was, I believe, Akta, it's good to see you again. Thank you for coming. I'm going to need you to show them the ropes, so to speak.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Bartholomew.
It's so nice seeing somebody of my seniority. How old are you, 500?
Not quite so young, but it is good to see. It is good to see a wizard never reveals their age, although I guess I cannot speak for everyone. This wizard certainly does not. But yes, it is good to see someone of my own. Yes, at least close. And he reaches out and shakes her hand. Oldman, was it?
Yes, it's so nice to meet you. I'm stuck with all these youngins.
Boy, who are you calling youngin?
Yes, and I believe we have Duratar, if I remember correctly, as well, yes?
Yes, Duratar.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have a first assignment for all of you. Of course, it will pay the standard adventuring fee. I need you to break into the house of an old friend of mine. And this one is going to be a little bit off the record. I thought if we had a few faces that weren't as well known throughout the kingdom, it might be a bit more subtle. You see, another wizard, elderly one like us. Her name was Mira Crantz. About 30 years ago, I lent her one of my spare wands. She has not given it back in all of that time, however. It's growing a bit frustrating. I've contacted her on the issue numerous times in the last 30 years, and each time she promises that she will return it to me soon and has not followed through. But the Spellcasters convention in Central City is today. I know that she will be out of town, so I think it would be a great time to perhaps walk into her home and see if my wand could be reclaimed. And he holds out his hand, and you see a minor illusion appear of what the wand kind of looks like. It's sort of a thin, it looks like it might be made of sort of an oak, but on the end of it, there seems like there's kind of a golden dollar sign that's stuck into the top of it. This is the appearance. Do you think that you could accomplish this task?
Breaking and entering was never really my thing, but I suppose so. Old things must always be returned.
I'm sneaky, so probably.
Yes, I thought that your particular skill set would prove useful in this endeavor, Duratar. In that case, do you have any questions before I send you off? You may not be familiar with the protocol. Akta will tell you that you get used to it, I imagine, but usually I will teleport you to the place that you need to be.
Why can't you teleport us inside the house?
Oh, well, she's a very competent wizard. She has a number of wards against planar travel in and out of her house. It would be, very difficult in order for me to do so. I'm not willing to expend that much effort. So, any questions before I send you on your way?
You know what? As of right now, I'd just say let's get on with it.
Excellent. And he snaps his fingers, and in a sudden rush of just feeling, it's actually nothing. It's just the slight moment of, it's just this slight moment of sort of disorientation as you now stand on the streets of a crowded city.
Did I just wake up?
Yeah, it feels a bit like that. It's just kind of this slight bit of dizziness. You're looking around a bit confused. Probably some of it is just old age. But you now stand on, as I said, the streets of a crowded city. You can see like motorized carts moving back and forth. It's very tall buildings rise up above you. And as you're looking around, he didn't specify like the address or what the house was, but he did tell you it was the house of a wizard, and as you kind of glance around, you can see all of these like tall, kind of thick gray, very brutal in their architecture, very efficient. And then you see this one building, the outside of it is painted in all of this like menagerie of colors, oranges, purples, greens. As it leans up, the house kind of bends and curves at strange angles. You can see like a chimney that sticks out of it like horizontally from the side of the building that's kind of puffing green smoke. This just instinct tells you that this is probably the place where this kind of forgetful wizard lives.
Yes, this does seem like the place of a forgetful wizard.
Yes, indeed. So you stand here now. The house remains in front of you. As you've been told, this individual, Mira, the wizard who owns this home, is apparently not here. It's going to be at a convention right now. So what would you all like to do?
Perhaps she forgot to lock her door.
I would like to see if I could roll Arcana to check to see if there's some kind of alarm spell preventing us from entering quietly.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. All right, so you kind of walk up to the doorstep, all of you. Oldman. My apologies, Oldman. Oldman kind of comments that maybe the door is unlocked, and as you get up there, you kind of are examining closely. You don't see signs of any runes around kind of the door handle where you would traditionally trigger an alarm spell. You're not sure if that's because they're very well hidden or because they're just not there. What you do notice is there are some like runes on the letter boxes that are in front of the windows. You can see a few different flowers growing up in them, and there's kind of arcane carvings into them. And as you're kind of standing there deliberating, every kind of like 30 seconds or so, you watch as those runes flash and the flowers in the letter boxes just like shift into different flowers, creating kind of like these varying arrays of colors in these letter boxes. You don't notice, like I said, any sign of a trap.
I turned the doorknob.
Yeah, it actually, you turn it and the door is seemingly unlocked. You push it open and the door kind of creaks open, and inside you are greeted with a pretty interesting sight. But first and foremost, among other things, you see someone standing there before you within the doorframe, and you hear Bartholomew's voice all of a sudden in your ears. Yes, I forgot to mention, I will be sending a fourth adventurer to join you. I believe that she already may be on the site. I think she got there a bit ahead of you. She was already in Central City at the crest, so it seemed superfluous to bring her back to my office. So you should encounter her at some point. Rex, you there?
Hello.
So, Rex, would you care to tell us a bit about your character?
So, there is a elf woman before you. High elf. She has long red hair tied back in a ponytail. She is wearing really garbage clothes, like actual garbage. She's got a potato sack for a dress, and she's wearing what looks like an old lace curtain kind of around her head as a hood, and she's got just like random junk hanging from her belt.
Excellent. And what is your character's name?
Her name is Lillili.
Lillili. Am I saying that correctly?
Close enough.
Very well. Lillili. So, as Bartholomew had told you on this adventure, he was sending you to the house of this wizard by the name of Mira Crantz while she is out of town to recover a wand that he had needed back, that he had lent to her many years ago, and she just kept failing to return to him. A physical description of the wand: it is kind of just a thin stick of oak, but there is a golden dollar sign that is at the top of it as kind of the head of it. So that is the object, and you are just to search through this woman's house while she is away at a convention. And he had told you that there's going to be a few more adventurers joining you on this, but you got a head start. So you see them all kind of enter into the house now, as all of you are now meeting up.
Hello, you must have opened the door for us.
Oh, hi there. Are you the guys joining me?
Oi, what's going on here?
I don't know about anybody else, but I am certainly no guy.
Oh, well, you know, that's just a general term I'll use for y'all. I don't mean nothing by it.
Excellent.
Hello, I am Oldman McWizardface.
Hi there, Mr. Old Man. I'm Lillili. Nice to meet you.
It's Oldman.
Oh, sorry.
As you kind of start moving into the house and making these introductions, the kind of area that you're in, you had only just kind of arrived here a moment before, so you hadn't had much time to really take it in yet either, Lillili. It's a fairly quaint kind of scene that you walk into. Within the house, you can see there's a dull fire kind of roaring in the fireplace. You can see the walls are just covered with all sorts of various knickknacks. There's a table kind of set up in the middle of it with kind of a rocking chair, and all of the furniture, it's all different. Like there's a couch that's kind of a deep kind of red leather, and then there's one that's made of kind of like a knitted green cloth. There was no real rhyme or reason, it seems like, to most of the furniture in here. It's just whatever she had, it looks like she just kind of put down. Throughout the house, you can hear different kind of noises. You'll hear some of them kind of friendly, like you can hear the sound of tea boiling on a kettle in the distance, which seems to be coming to a boil now as you start to hear the sound of the steam releasing. You can smell a variety of smells: incense, herbs, just kind of some sense of dust. Furniture everywhere. It looks like this place is very cluttered, and that finding a wand in this place is going to be a bit of a task. Immediately, when you look for places that things could hide, you see like a big tall kind of like cupboard that seems to be locked. You can see stairs leading upwards to one of the higher floors. You see a door on the far wall that seems to lead into a kitchen. That's where the sound of the teapot at least is coming from. Big kind of grandfather clock to your left. There's the table. You look at it, it actually appears to be a chest that has a whole bunch of like kind of blankets and then like a tablecloth over it, but the base of it actually appears to be like a treasure chest. That is the scene as you enter into this room. What would you all wish to do?
She has a wonderful sense of decor.
I agree. This place real nice. Nice and homey.
Yes, it's as homey as it is. It's going to hinder us a little bit, I would say. trying to find one small object, and this is going to be problematic.
Well, we got in here, so I hear the kettle. It's tea time.
Oh, wait a second. A kettle? I thought she wasn't supposed to be home.
She must have left it for us.
As you say that, you actually see, you hear the kettle kind of stop making that noise, and then a brief moment later, kind of floating through the door, you see 4 teacups just kind of bobbing in the air. You can hear the gentle rattling of the saucers against the teacups as they kind of float, and then they just hover in the air in front of each of you.
This is better than McNobleface's castle.
I never really got some of the wizard's sort of spells.
Why, thank you, Mr. Floating Cup. And Oldman takes his tea and he drinks a little bit of it.
Yes, it's just the right temperature. It seems to be a very nice sort of jasmine. It's very pleasant. As you kind of grab onto the cup, whatever was holding it afloat through kind of arcane power releases, and now it's just kind of normal gravity again as you grab onto it. Do the rest of you take the cup, or do you shoo it away, or what do you guys do?
I would shoo it away.
Oh, she takes the cup.
Okay. Lillili, you grab the cup. The rest of you, except for Akta, have yourself a cup of tea. It's very good. As you shoo it away, Akta, it just kind of floats back in. You can hear the sound of it pouring itself out in the other room.
Oh, such a waste.
So yeah, around you have this kind of, like I said, there's all kinds of stuff. There's a big kind of grandfather clock with a little kind of few rows of shelves on it. There's a big locked cupboard, and then you can see this chest underneath the table, and then there's the whole kitchen beyond, and then more stuff upstairs. Where do you want to start looking?
Everyone said time is money. Let's check the clock.
All right. As you kind of open up the clock, you get kind of close to it, and then out of the top of the clock, right as you're about to get there, a little kind of bird pokes out of it. I'd like you to make me a dex save. And do you know how to roll on Roll20? If you click on your character sheet, there's a section called saving throws. There's one that you should, I think you'll have proficiency in it probably because you're a rogue. Just click where it says dexterity on your saving sheet, on your character sheet, where it says dexterity under saving throws, and it will roll it for you. Do you see it?
No.
Are you on your directly under your proficiency bonus on your character sheet?
Yep. Just to the right of where the word dexterity is, where you have your 16 and your 3.
Alright.
So do you see where all the skills are, for example, where it says acrobatics, animal handling, arcana?
Yeah.
Above that, it should say strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom.
I see it.
Just click on the word dexterity. Oh no, a crit fail.
No.
That's a natural 1. Alright, so as this clock kind of opens up, the whole face of the clock opens and this bird comes out and just boop, it bumps you right in the face, and the beak is actually a little bit pointy. It kind of stabs you a bit. You take 1 point of piercing damage, and you're kind of knocked back for a second. But after this one kind of moment of pain, you steady yourself, and you kind of go and open the little cabinet underneath the clock. There's inside of it is very cluttered. Go ahead and make me... Actually, you don't even need to roll for this. Looking inside, you do not see the wand. There's all kinds of stuff inside of it, and as you open it, you actually hear a voice come from inside of it, and you hear it call out, "Hey there!"
What?
Hello! I said hello.
Hello? What's going on, mate?
Not much. Why don't you pick me up? Go ahead and make a perception check.
What?
That's under the skills section, so just click the word perception is how this works.
Is skills?
Yep, it's right beneath where you just did that saving throw. Great. A couple of rough rolls so far. So you're looking around and you're not confused. You're looking in here. There's like a kind of like a ship inside of a ship in a bottle. There's kind of a couple of books in here. You see like an old piece of bread that was like placed down and then forgotten. Too old to like smell at this point. And you know, there's like a little kind of garden gnome. But your eyes just kind of glaze over it and you just hear, "Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here." You all are hearing this voice coming out of the grandfather clock as well, as you see Duratar look over and is now just having a conversation with the clock.
Yeah, how's your day been?
My day's been about the same as it always is. Sitting in here at this clock, waiting for something to do. You want to pick me up? Right here, the gnome. You see it?
The
I
gnome?
look like a little gnome. Yeah, there is a garden gnome that you see, and the gnome doesn't, like, the face isn't moving. You don't see it, like, talking or anything, but the voice is coming out of this thing.
Yeah, sure, mate. Let me get you out of there.
All right, you pick this gnome up. Hello there. Thank you. It's been a while since I've seen anything else. Looks like the place is changing a bit since the last time I was out.
Oh, hello, another gnome!
Oh, look at you. You're an old one, aren't you?
Indeed. So how long have you been here?
Well, I guess that would be when I was made, which was several years ago. Can't really remember. Time doesn't really pass that well, ironically, inside of a clock. Say at least 20 years?
20, Do you know anything about a wand?
A wand? Yeah, I mean, old lady Mira's got tons of wands around here. She's a wizard after all. All over the place, really.
Well, this wand had kind of,
Here, let me do it!
I was talking to the gnome, alright. You might be a gnome, but let me talk to him. I haven't had my chance to speak.
How do you feel about garden gnomes? I'm curious, Oldman McWizardface, as they are a little bit of a simulacrum, an unrealistic simulacrum of what a gnome really is.
They're like little dogs. They're so cute.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we see a lot of them over at the Trash Kingdom. I like them.
And yeah, what is Lillili and Akta doing all this time as this gnome's going on? Are you just watching this, or are you exploring on your own?
Sipping her tea, being overwhelmed by all the cool stuff around her.
Yeah, it is. The place is absolutely filled with cool stuff. You see like an old kind of anchor on the wall that you kind of like move it a little bit and it feels incredibly light, actually, even though it looks like it's just made of pure iron. There's a painting where you see there's like an old woman in it that's sitting there just kind of sipping tea, and she nods to you and goes back to sipping her own tea. Yeah, the inside of this place is just filled with curios. What about you, Akta?
Akta is just sitting staring at the little garden gnome, wondering how it can talk.
Yeah, like there's no voice. The sound just seems to be coming almost from like inside of it.
Oldman uses his own minor illusion to create an image of the wand.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that one before. Crantz had that one, for sure.
Do you remember the last place she put it down?
You see, the thing is I'm only out when you see, I used to be on the shelf, over there. Well, I guess you can't see the way I'm thinking about gesturing because I can't move my arms because I'm just a garden gnome. But over on the side wall there's a shelf. It's got the big kind of animal skull on it, and that's the one. Yes. I used to sit over there. I saw her walk upstairs with it. So that's the last place I saw. Is it moved at least upstairs?
Well, that's probably where we should go then. Would you like to stay with us, Mr. Gnome? Do you have a name?
that would be absolutely delightful. Mr. Gnome, I think, is fine.
I don't know. I don't like the way he looks at me sometimes. Kind of creepy. Kind of want to put him back.
He looks at you the same way all the time.
I know. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
If you don't like the way I look at you, you could give me to someone else.
All right. Maybe I'll like the way you look at me. No, not in that kind of way. No, shut up. No.
Oh, ain't that just the cutest thing you ever seen? Y'all are getting along so well.
All right,
I like to think that we're getting along
stay
great.
with me. Yeah, you can stay with me.
We won't forget you inside the clock.
That would be just great. Just great if you could do that. I got all sorts of magic powers. Perhaps I'll reveal them at a later time.
Well, now that I know that, I'm not putting you back.
Lillili starts rooting through the nearest garbage can, and she's like, maybe it got misplaced somewhere in here, because, if she hasn't returned it in a while, she probably lost it, and you'd be surprised at what kind of important stuff shows up in the trash.
Trust me, if you put something down, there's a chance it'll disappear from your memory.
All right, so go ahead and make me an investigation check. Lillili, as you're rooting through the trash, you kind of step, you look for the nearest trash can, you end up kind of stepping into the kitchen. You can see on the far side of the room there's like a big pantry, it looks like, and then there's this trash can. All right, you're looking within. You don't see much in the way of, you don't see a wand. There's some old food. There's like a piece of fruit that looks like it had like a single bite taken out of it, and was then tossed in the trash. It's like really weird looking. It's like this big kind of, it looks like a gigantic grape that's like glowing on the inside.
Oh yeah, she grabs that, and also some of the random bits and pieces of other food.
Yeah, there's some like crusts. There's like a quarter of a sandwich that got tossed away that's falling apart of it.
She stuffs all the junk stuff just in one of her pouches, and then she takes this glowing thing.
Okay, yeah, you take the big glowing, like, we'll call it a mega grape for the sake of argument here. Are you gonna try it out, or are you just gonna hold on to it for now?
She's gonna sniff it and then like give it a little just kind of tap it with her tongue just to see if it's still good.
All right. Yeah, you look into it. It's extremely sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah, it seems like it's still pretty fresh. It smells good too. All your tongue feels a little bit tingly after you kind of just tasted a bit.
Interesting.
Right.
Hey y'all, I found this in the garbage. You think I should try it? It looks like it might be magical.
You don't get my age just eating any old thing.
I don't see what the problem is with it.
You gonna go for it, or are you gonna hold off?
Oh yeah, she's just a little bite. She's a lady, but she's gonna take a little bite.
You take a little bite. Go ahead and make me a Constitution save. Ooh. Okay. As you bite into it, that kind of like tingly feeling that you felt, it starts to like spread over your body, and you notice as you're looking down at your hands, you're starting to be able to like see through them almost.
Whoa.
And you're kind of like a little bit confused, and as you're starting to like be able to see through your hands, you find that this mega grape just falls through your hands as you have become incorporeal.
Oh, fellas, I think I maybe shouldn't have eaten that one.
What about the teacup?
Whoa.
Oh no, does the teacup fall and break?
The teacup? Oh, were you still holding the teacup? The teacup.
Yeah.
The teacup would also fall. As it crashes to the ground, it shatters, and then a brief moment later, you watch as the teacup just kind of reforms itself as the pieces, and then it just kind of floats up and puts itself away.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry, little fella. I didn't mean to smash you like that. Oh dear, what have I done?
You hear like a small tapping sound from the key cup. It just kind of like taps twice in the cabinet. You don't really know what that means, but it says something to you in response.
Knock twice if you're okay.
Yeah, it knocks twice. It's okay.
Sweet.
Hey there. Hey.
Yeah, and you find you can actually like float around a little bit. Like you can control your vertical movement. Like you're touching the walls, and you can just kind of pass through them.
My God, it killed her!
I don't feel dead. I mean, but I've never been dead before, so I mean, I don't really have a reference.
Oi, little no. What'd she eat?
Oh, I don't know if you noticed this. I'm a bit of an inanimate object, so I don't eat.
Well, do you know what she ate? Like that giant thing?
Oh, can't say I'm certain. There's all kinds of like crazy stuff in here. If you hadn't noticed, like me.
Yeah.
Well,
If I knew what everything in this house was, I probably would know how to stop being a gnome and to get out of it.
I suppose I'll put away this teacup and wash it, and then we can head upstairs.
All right, you put the teacup. As you go to kind of wash it, you see the teacup kind of starts animating again and jumping out of your hands and cleaning itself off. You guys going to head up the stairs?
Oh, what a nice little teacup.
All right. Who's going to lead the way? Who's going to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, you begin.
Lillili helps Oldman up the stairs.
You go to help.
You can't touch me!
Help Oldman, and your hand just passes through him as you go to like.
Oh, right, shit. Oh dear, sorry. I tried to help.
Does that mean that we've been in each other?
Oi, Akta.
What?
Yes.
Well,
do you mind helping this old one out?
I suppose I could, yes.
all right. So since you're leading the way, since you're leading the way, Duratar, I'd like you to make me a perception check as you're walking up these stairs.
That's in skills, right?
Yep. All right, so you're just kind of stepping up, and as the rest of you are sort of following, you step on sort of a loose stair. It seems like it kind of like presses down a little bit as you hit a step, and then you watch as all of the stairs just turn diagonal, and it's just a slide leading down, and like a panel opens up on the bottom of the stairs as all of you start, with the exception of Lillili, who's currently a half ghost, starts sliding backwards down the stairs.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Oldman, McWizardface, and Akta, you are at the bottom as this is happening, so you are the closest to this little pit. What would you like to do?
Look for something to grab onto and avoid falling in the pit.
All right, you reach out your hand and grab onto a side railing. Go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
All right, yeah, that's fine. It's not greased or magical or anything. It's just kind of you're going down a slide. So you grab onto it, and you have Oldman. You are like helping Oldman up the stairs. So Oldman, I'll say that you can make your strength save with advantage because Akta was helping you, which is good because you needed it. So yeah, Akta has like the railing, and then you have kind of a grip on Akta as this kind of slide appears. You who are at the top. Duratar, you start kind of sliding down. You're about to crash into the two of them below. Go ahead and make me a strength save as well. A strength saving throw. That'll be above where you did that first dexterity save. Or below, I can't remember, but in that area. Great, yeah, you managed to catch as well. Given enough time, you kind of slowly make your way up this sort of slide stair. You reach the landing, grabbing on to like the bars that represent the landing. Lillili, if you want, you can just kind of like float up to the top and just kind of like go through the ceiling, even if you wanted.
She's gonna float up to the top and see if there's any sort of thing to fix the stairs.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check. Yeah, you're looking around. You don't see any kind of like noticeable lever or button or any kind of like, magic switch.
Hey, little garden gnome fella. Little garden gnome fella, do you know if there's any way to fix this?
If I'm being honest, I haven't really been up the stairs before. I've never actually seen them even do that. Didn't know they did it.
Okay.
But I mean, if you look over to your right, and he directs you to look over to your right. You look over your right, and you see a tiger that's just sitting there, like on its hind legs, like staring at you, and you now just hear it let out kind of a low. I believe there's a tiger up. I believe there's a tiger up there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fuzzy little fella up here.
All right, and at this point, Lillili, would be at this time that effect wears off, and you just kind of and you just kind of like fall, and just a couple inches, you're a little bit off balance, but you catch yourself, and this tiger is just kind of staring you down pretty intently. It hasn't made a move forward yet.
Okay. That being said, I am going to cast Speak with Animals.
You cast Speak with the Animals. You take a brief moment. The rest of you at this point have kind of climbed up the stairs as Lillili is doing this. You're right behind her as you finish this. You finish this sort of ritual, and then the tiger looks to you. What do you say to the tiger once you've cast Speak with Animals?
Hey there, kitty. We don't mean any harm. We're just on an errand.
The kitty speaks back to you. Indeed. But I am no kitty. I am the tiger of terrible truths. He says in common that everyone can hear, actually.
Oh, well, shit.
And he says,
well, Mr. Tiger of Terrible Truths, we are looking for a wand. You wouldn't happen to know where it is, would you?
I cannot say that I know what your destination is, but I can know that if you say something, whether it is true or it is false. So, if you make a statement about what your destination is, I can tell you whether you were right or you were wrong.
Is the wand upstairs?
That was a question, not a statement, you old fool!
The wand is upstairs!
That was true!
I will live another 100 years!
He looks at you and he goes, that is true!
Oh, how wonderful!
The wand is near us.
That is false! You have told it falsehood! And then now you see him starting to get angry and he goes to pounce towards you.
Oh no.
I would like it if y'all would go ahead and roll for initiative.
Oh, damn it. Okay, this cat really hates lies.
Music is actually really fitting for this.
Oh, wow.
How do you go for initiative?
Oh wait, I made the wrong roll. That was the real one. It's the second one. Just click on initiative. It should be at the top, like middle of your character sheet. Excellent. All right, so the first to act is you, Oldman McWizardface. The tiger of terrible truths looks towards you, letting out kind of a purr and gets ready to pounce towards you as it starts moving. How do you react?
Can I close the door?
Wait, which door? You're at the top of the stairs. There's no door. Or I guess there's a door, like, to your left that leads into a different room.
I go into the room and close the door behind me.
All right. You watch as Oldman ducks into a side room and the door slams. As you kind of are stepping into this room, what you realize as you moved in, it was a little bit, it was kind of like a little bit shimmery as you were moving in. It was like a kind of a weird, almost reflection as you dump into the nearest room. As you enter, you realize that you are in a room that is completely underwater. Around you, there's all sorts of fish in the corner. You can see a chest that has like a big kind of lock on it. You seem to be able to breathe.
Oh, what a wonderful place.
All right, that is going to bring us to Lillili.
All right, so before she tries to act, because she really doesn't want to have to fight an animal, she shouts out, "Hey, Tiger, this statement is false."
I loathe paradoxes. That's what he says.
Damn it! I really thought that would stop him.
In his anger, you see him for a brief moment. He just kind of like is now kind of running in circles in place. He seems, if nothing, he seems very frustrated. He like understands what's happened, but he still seems somehow a little bit powerless to do anything about it. Akta, what do you do?
I'm going to cast Armor. I'm going to use my invocation Armor of Shadows to cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right. You watch as Akta's body just kind of this sheen of magical energy appears and then is gone, but you are now protected. What would you like to do? That brings us to the tiger. The tiger spends his turn kind of running in place in circles, almost like chasing his own tail, and then kind of looks back to you, Lillili, and just goes, "Don't do that again. That is neither a truth nor falsehood. I despise it." And then gets ready to pounce again.
I'm just trying to get you to stop attacking us. We don't mean you any harm. We can keep telling truths if that's what you like.
He doesn't really respond to that. He still seems very agitated about that previous lie. As it passes now to your turn, Duratar. What do you do?
I don't know.
You could make an attack against the creature. You could, try and move. You could move into that same room that Oldman did. What kind of course of action do you want to take? I'll tell you how to do it mechanically if you just tell me what it is that you want to have happen.
You know what? I'm gonna bug off. See you guys later. I'm going with the old geezer.
Okay, you open the door and duck into the room that's completely filled with water, and then slam the door behind you. Once again, you're also kind of shocked as you're now soaking wet, and also weirdly able to breathe in this space. That brings us to the top of the initiative. Oldman.
Oldman opens the door a little bit and peeks out. And then...
you see the scene?
Sorry.
I was going to say, you see the scene that I have already described to other people? Okay. The tiger's there, just kind of getting ready to go.
And he checks his books to see if they're ruined.
The books are getting a little bit wet. It's going to be a long time of drying those books off once you get out of here.
Oh, he steps out of the water, takes out a very wet piece of parchment, and begins to try to sketch the tiger. This is a wonderful research opportunity.
It does not go very well as you're trying to sketch on wet paper. The pen just kind of keeps going through it. But I'll go ahead and make me a dexterity check to see if you're able to put pen to paper even though the paper is wet. It's going to be a very difficult challenge.
Yes.
It's perfect. I lied. Everything is fine. You can do it with no problem. Nice rolls.
I've done this for 400 years.
I'm sorry I underestimated you. That's going to bring us to Lillili. Oldman ducks back out and continues to write. The tiger is looking very frustrated and confused, still reeling from that paradox. What do you wish to do?
So, because in that time she has not been able to think of another paradox, I haven't been able to think of one, she is going to... I don't think I took any spells that are helpful here. Bear with me for a moment, sorry.
No problem.
Hey, Pete, do you hear, bud?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, your webcam just went out.
Oh, that's really weird.
All right, just letting you know. If it doesn't come back in, it doesn't come back in. Sorry to interrupt y'all.
Yeah, I see that it is not working. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get that up. In the meantime, I will just be on voice. Sorry about that, everybody.
All right, so she's just gonna try something, and she's going to point to one of the other doors, probably whichever one is closest to her right, and she's going to say, "The wand's in there."
One of the doors that is to your right. All right, so you point to the nearest door, and he goes, "Partial truth. You have to pass through there to get the wand. So no, actually, it was a hard falsehood."
Well, thanks for the information.
Sometimes I get confused. You've addled my brain. Is that all for your turn?
She's gonna dip through that door.
All right, yeah. You are in the room now with Duratar. As you duck into the water room is the one that you were pointing towards, as that's the nearest. In that case, that is going to bring us to Akta. What do you wish to do?
I'm just going to walk to the nearest door on my left and go in there.
The nearest door on your left, you'd actually have to walk down the hall a bit because the stairs are on your left that you came up. So it's kind of like you'd have to walk down the hallway past the tiger, and then there's another room at the end of the hallway.
Is there a room behind me that I could go in?
Yeah, there's a room that's immediately behind you right when you go up the stairs. So you open the door, open it, and then slam it shut as you go into this room. The inside of this room, it's all just statues of birds of various sizes that are all along the walls. As you enter, every single one of the birds' heads just all turn and in unison look at you.
Uh-oh. I caused you no trouble. I'm just looking for something.
All right. When you enter into this room, I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. All right. All of the birds, as they all kind of turn and look at you, they all just start. It's an absolute cacophony as you enter into there. It starts to like addle your mind for a moment, but you manage to keep yourself present. You are not under the effect of any. You are not under any ill effects as you manage to make the save. The tiger at this point no longer troubled by a paradox, but also actually the only one who's in the hall now is Oldman. So he's going to run up and attempt to pounce at you, Oldman.
Oh, I didn't realize it was still in the hole.
Yeah, Oldman ducked back in to sketch the tiger. It's going to make an attack against you. Does a 17 hit?
17 most definitely hit.
All right, yeah, he jumps up and bounces onto you. You take 8 points of piercing damage.
And Oldman is unconscious.
Oh no! Oldman goes down as you fall in the hallway. The tiger kind of leans on you. It doesn't seem to like be overly concerned about finishing you off. He mostly just kind of wanted to bring you down. But yeah, he's now just kind of like sitting right in front of you as there's no one left in this hallway for him to go after. But Oldman is unconscious. That is going to bring us to Duratar. You're in this kind of room of water. There's like a chest on the far side of it, and then on the opposite ceiling, like opposite side of the room in the ceiling, there's like a hatch leading into like an upstairs room.
Oi, little mate, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. What's up?
Do you know if I have to go to the chest or to the hatch?
Like I said, I've been downstairs most of my whole life.
What do you think is a good idea?
Is Lillili's in the room with him, isn't she?
Yep.
I just talked to the tiger, and he said we have to go through this room to get to the room with the wand, so I think it's up there.
No, it has to be in the chest.
I mean, sure, but I kind of trust the truthful tiger out there, but I'm not going to stop you.
No, it has to be in the chest.
I'd like to say that if the truthful tiger said that it was upstairs, then it's upstairs. That's all there is to it.
No.
Would you like to unleash one of my many magic? Would you like to unleash one of my many magical powers?
Sure.
Go ahead and take me and smash me against the wall there.
I just met you.
Trust me, it's a magic power that only unlocks when you smash me against the wall. Or some other hard object. It doesn't actually have to be that wall specifically.
I'll just smash you on the ground.
Alright, you reach down and smash him?
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and make me a strength check.
Which would be skills?
If you go into the saving throws and just click on the strength one, that will be the same thing. Strength, all right, 15. Yeah, you reach down, and even through the water, you're able to crash him into the ground, and you see the gnome just shatters, and then you see within, you just see this little tiny thing flutter out with wings and just go, freedom! And just starts flying upwards and up towards the hatch at the top of the room. All right, that is, I think, all you have time for on your turn. That is.
I think that gnome lied to you. I don't think he was a gnome.
That's going to bring us to the top of the order, which is Oldman. I need you to make me. Oh, you already did it. Excellent. You have one success. Lillili, you hear in the other room as Oldman, like, kind of. What's the noise that Oldman makes as he falls?
It's so beautiful.
You hear that in the room behind you. I don't know how you would react to that. What do you do, Lillili?
Well, the tiger said he's going to live for another 100 years, so I don't think he's going to die. So I say we continue. Sorry, Oldman.
All right, you go upwards. You going to swim up for the hatch, or are you going to go for the chest?
Yes, going for the hatch.
All right. You're able to reach the top of it, and you open it up. Your head kind of sticks up into a room. It's a much kind of more pleasant room that you see inside. It just looks like a bedroom. It's the most like normal room that you've seen. There's a big kind of like oaken dresser that is locked on the other side.
All right, I proceed onward towards the dresser.
All right, that is going to bring us to. Akta, what do you do? You're in this room full of birds. They're all just cawing at you extremely angrily as you enter. There's a door on the far side. There's a door behind you.
I will go for the closest door to me that doesn't take me to the hall.
Okay. Yeah, there's just one door on the other side of the room. As you enter into it, you run across all these birds just caw, 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 screaming at you. You walk into a room and it's just like clothes. There's just tons and tons and tons of like coats on racks. Yeah, they're all like various colors. This room seems a bit more tame than the one that you were just in. As you enter, though, a couple of them start like popping off the shelves that appear to be like suits in your size, as it seems like this closet is trying to fit you. That's as far as you can get, I think, on this round. But you get out of the bird room and the immediate danger that you were in. That is going to bring us to the tiger, who's just kind of watching you. He's just kind of like watching you, who Oldman
at least
kind of
appreciate my drawing.
Yeah, he does appreciate the drawing. You cannot see this, but the tiger of terrible truth looks down and goes, true, as he looks at the picture. That is going to bring us to Drotan. This thing inside of the gnome that you smashed flew away from you, like up to the hatch around the same place that Lillili was. There's still this chest. You want to go for it?
I'm going for that chest.
All right. It appears to be, as you kind of swim over to it, it appears to be locked. Would you, as a rogue, I imagine, are pretty skilled at this. Would you like to make me a sleight of hand check or a check with your thieves' tools to unlock it?
I think I'm gonna go with thieves' tools.
The thieves' tools, if I'm not mistaken, would just give them advantage on the check.
I thought they were just like a skill check. Either way, go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check.
All right.
All right, yeah, 19 is certainly enough. You reach in kind of expertly in this lockpick. You're not able to breathe. It's a little bit awkward because you're underwater, but without trouble, you find kind of the key notch in this lock and kind of pop it to the side, and you feel it click, the heavy. And as you do that, the chest opens, and out of the inside of it, you start to hear some very loud music start to play in this room, and a bunch of like multicolored bubbles start popping out. And they all are just kind of like exploding and make like underwater strange fireworks. And as you do that, all of you suddenly hear a voice in your head from Bartholomew. I don't know what just happened, but apparently Mira is on her way out of the convention. I was there, I was watching her, and she just disappeared. I imagine she was going back home for some reason. Maybe you triggered something, I don't know. Be careful, you have to get the wand and get out of there. So you all hear that in your heads. As this, there's just this cascade of bubble fireworks in the room that you're in. Duratar, it is extremely beautiful. That is going to bring us another death saving throw, Oldman.
Oh no.
You have one success and one failure. Lillili, you're in this room now. There's the, you said you wanted to go over to the wardrobe?
Yes.
Or the chest. The chest. All right, so you go over to it. You kind of lift the lid off of it. Inside of it, there's another box.
Oh, it's a box inside a box. Okay, she's gonna open the box inside the box.
All right, inside that box, there's another box. It's a smaller one. This one's square.
Oh dear. I think I know where this is going. And then she's gonna open that one.
All right, you start the chain downwards as you're popping out smaller and smaller boxes. They're all kind of strange. There's a circular one. There's like one that's shaped like a star until you eventually get down, and inside of it, there's just like, it's like one of those Matryoshka dolls that you grab onto.
Ooh.
That's as far as you can get in this box. In this box. That's going to bring us to Akta. You're in a room right now. It seems to be a closet. There's some very beautiful clothes that are trying to fit you right now.
Is there another door in this room that will take me somewhere else that's not?
You can see there's not a door, but in this room you actually see a laundry chute that seems to be leading downwards.
I'll try my luck and jump down the laundry chute.
You gonna jump down? All right. You dive into this laundry chute and just slide down. Whoa! It's like leads first at kind of like a sideways angle, and then just like plummets straight down. And you just end up. You're standing now kind of on the front threshold. This is actually around where that stairs, like the pit that opened at the bottom of the stairs, you fall into that and you land in a huge pile of clothes. And as you do so, looking down at you, as you kind of look up out of this little pit that had opened at the bottom of the stairs, you see an old woman with like white hair tied back in a bun looking down at you, and she just calls out, "What are you doing in my home?" Do you say anything, Akta?
I don't quite know myself. I just appealed here. Casually trying to lie to a deception check to.
Yeah, go ahead and make a deception check. Happens to me all the time. I understand. Out you go. And you see her. She points her wand at you and just levitates you out, and then just kind of moves you out the door. She seems to be fairly powerful. All right. That is going to bring us in the initiative to Tiger, who does nothing, and that brings us to Duratar. You're in a room with all these bubbles. Apparently, you've unlocked some kind of signal.
Well, it's pretty in here, and I like it.
Gonna hang?
I might as well go upstairs.
All right, you head up. You see as you reach the top, it's as far as you can get into one round because the water slows you down. But you see Lillili there with like a big kind of like Russian dollar in her hands. There's like a big pile of empty boxes that are just kind of strewn around the ground around her. Strewn around the ground around her is a very good tongue twister. That is going to bring us to Oldman. Another death save. Hey, 2 successes. All right. That is going to bring us to Lillili. You have a Matryoshka doll. You can pop it open.
She's going to, but as she's doing it, she's going to look at her companion who just entered the room, and she's going to stare him dead in the eye and just pop the doll open without looking at it.
I'd like to make me a strength check. It's actually on there pretty good.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Yeah, that's enough. You look him dead in the eye, and then just poof, and you just pop the Russian doll open. And as you do, you're just inside of darkness, and you find yourself now in this strange room. It's just like kind of like a black space, and then all around you, ding, 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 all these different things start to appear, and most of them look like magical objects. Among them, you see the wand that you were seeking.
All right, not only is she going to go for the wand, but she's going to go for whatever looks like it's the most junkiest thing in there.
All right. You see one of them is just kind of like broken, and there's some like weird kind of like sparks coming out of it. It's like a different wand. Presumably the wand that she broke before she borrowed this one.
Yes.
You want to grab that too? All right,
yeah,
you take that.
she's going to go for both.
All right, you take this broken one and the other one. You still have the 2 pieces of the Matryoshka doll. And now you're just kind of in this space. There's no like seeming exit.
She's gonna look at the Matryoshka in her hands and be like, huh, and just kind of pop it back together.
All right, and as you do, you're back in the room in front of the chest. And in that moment, Duratar, what you just watched was Lillili, opens the doll and just gets consumed by darkness, and then she's just gone and there's nothing there, and then like 5 seconds later, it's just she's back, and you see she has 2 wands in her hands. One of them being the thing that you're there for.
Mate, I don't think that was healthy for you.
I feel all right. This thing's kind of neat. And she's going to put the doll in her pocket.
Excellent. Akta, you are out in the street.
Yes, I would like to see if there's another way in that wouldn't have me go directly into the house and see the old woman again. If there's
go ahead and make an investigation
window.
check. Oh, second floor window. Okay, yeah, you're just gonna start climbing upwards. You like climb up over the letterbox. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Oh no.
Stealth 10. As you're walking, as you're climbing past, like you have to go by a window to get to the first one. As you do so, you're at that first window, and you see as this old woman is walking up the stairs, they appear to have righted by some action that she's taken, and she just kind of taps on the window as you're like halfway through climbing it, and she just gives you like a shrug look and like, what are you doing?
Hi again. I seen something. It looked like a speck of dot. I was just going up to clean it.
Don't go away! And she kind of gestures for you to leave. What do you do?
I'll like climb back down a little bit so she can't see me and just wait.
All right, just wait a minute and then just try again. All right. She starts kind of climbing up the stairs. She gets to the top, and as she gets up there, it's her turn. She sees you, Oldman, dying underneath the tiger. Oldman, your eyes open as you look up and you see this woman. You feel like something in between your lips, as it seems to be the taste of a healing potion, something I'm sure you've experienced at some point in your many years. And she looks down.
I must have died. I'm seeing angels.
What's a looker like you doing in here?
What? Oh, I was looking for someone like you. You're so beautiful.
Why, thank you. I haven't heard anything like that in many years. Like I said, you're not bad yourselves, but I'm very busy right now. I'd like to make me a charisma saving throw. All of a sudden, you find yourself disappeared as you have been vanished.
What about my drawing?
Oh, your drawing still in your hand. You've held on to your draw. You're incapacitated in this space as you have been banished. She continues upstairs. That's going to bring us to Duratar. What do you do?
Sorry, what's going on?
You are in this room with Lillili. You have the thing. Now you just need to get out of the house.
Is there any windows around us?
Yeah, there's a window. You're on the top floor. It's 3 stories, but there's a window.
Oi, mate, let's get out the window.
Right after you.
All right, so you go over and open up the window. It looks like a pretty perilous drop downwards. It was tough to realize how kind of far up you are, but you have like 30 feet down. You gonna just start climbing?
Yeah.
All right, I'd like you to make me an athletics check as you start to climb downwards.
If I can see them, I would just like to shout to them, make sure you don't land on the wand!
All right, as you're falling, Akta, you see Duratar start to climb out the window and then begin to kind of fall. I'd like you to make me a dex save, Duratar, to catch yourself as you start to kind of fall backwards, climbing from the top of this roof.
Oh, lordy!
All right, yeah, that's not going to do it. Akta, do you do anything as you see Duratar falling?
I'll try and catch him, I guess.
Right, so you're kind of you're a little bit up the top anyway, but you jump in the way. Go ahead and make me a strength save to try and catch Duratar and soften some of the blow. Oh, pretty good. Akta sees you start to fall and reaches out underneath you. You're falling from a very high height, but you're going to take half damage from this. So you only take 5 points of damage as you fall. Could have been very bad. Akta,
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, and Duratar, you know, on the ground. That's top of the initiative, Lillili.
All right, so wanting to escape relatively quickly and relatively safely, she's actually going to cast Entangle on the wall, and she's going to grab one of the vines and kind of use it to propel herself down.
All right, go ahead and make me an athletics check with advantage because of this spell.
Boy!
Yes, no issue. You do a sick grappling hook rappel down the wall as you're kicking off and jumping downwards. You absolutely succeed as you reach the bottom, wand in hand. And with that, all of you are out of the house. A brief moment later, you're wondering where Oldman is, and then Oldman just appears on the streets outside of the house, kind of disheveled looking, a soggy picture of a tiger in hand. As all of you are. As all of you, and maybe Oldman, maybe you choose to go back in and try and speak once more to Mira Crantz, Master Arcanist. But for now, you have your quest object, and you're able to eventually return to Bartholomew's shop, which means that you have completed this particular adventure. Congratulations to all of you.
Bartholomew, how about you introduce me to your friend?
Absolutely. You speak to Bartholomew. Yes, someday I could do that, Oldman. Although I do not know if she is on the market, I could inquire. But for now, I believe I owe each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks, and he hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks, and you all gain 1 experience point, which means if you were level 1, you are now level 2, and congratulations on your victory here today in this slightly silly adventure.
When I was young, we had noble nickels.
Lillili looks at the Bartholomew bucks in her hand and just kind of offhandedly says, "Oh, I found these in the trash kingdom, just in the garbage all the time."
Really?
Yeah, they're fake money, right?
They're very real here. They have all sorts of things that you can purchase with them from my shop. It's a wonderful payment system. I think you'll find that you very much like it in the long term, he says, looking a bit nervous. But
I have a question for you. And she holds out the broken wand and she's like, can you fix this?
Perhaps given time, it may take a bit. But I can look at it for you if you wish.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Boy,
yeah, not a problem at all. And
probably just
go ahead, Duratar.
Probably just gonna give half this to a probably little youngin' who needs it.
Fair enough. And with that, I think this adventure will be concluded. Jeremy.
Congratulations, everyone. Thanks so much for playing. You guys were awesome.